Okay, welcome this afternoon or evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us again this afternoon. Just a couple of housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type any questions to our presenters throughout this presentation. We are in webinar mode, so your camera and microphone are off. The panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org to register for any sessions that are continuing to happen over the next 5 weeks. Lastly, this presentation is being recorded, so you will have access to it in just a few days if you'd like to share any information with any friends or family. Also available at IACAC.org. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to our presenters.
Okay, hello everyone. Well, first and foremost, I would like to say thank you again for joining us this evening. We are incredibly excited to present St. Mary's to you. But before we do so, we'd like to do some very brief introductions. My name is Cara Firestein, and I am a senior admission counselor with St. Mary's. And prior to being an admission counselor, I was a student at St. Mary's.
Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Romeo. I'm a senior admission counselor at St. Mary's, and I've been there, this will be my 7th year, so it's great to have you guys here.
Hi everyone, my name is Ana Martin del Campo. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission Chicago Regional Rep. I graduated from St. Mary's in 2015, and I'm happy to now be back. I'm so happy that you guys are here joining us on this presentation, and without further ado, I will share my screen.
Okay, so St. Mary's truly is a place for discovery. Throughout our presentation today, we will be discussing a number of topics. First and foremost, we'll talk about who St. Mary's is and who makes up our student body. We'll talk about the academics at St. Mary's, life at a women's college. We'll discuss the application process. And then we'll also talk about how St. Mary's could benefit you. And at the end, we'll also have some time for questions. So please feel free to put those in the Q&A and we'll answer those towards the end. So St. Mary's College, we were founded in 1844. We are a private Catholic women's college in Notre Dame, Indiana. And we are well known for helping women to become leaders and helping them to discover their passions and their talents, which we'll talk more about today. So an overview of our student body at St. Mary's, we have about 1,600 undergraduate students, and of those 1,600 students, a majority of them are actually from out of state. So being from Illinois, you absolutely would not be alone in being an out-of-state student at St. Mary's. In fact, about 23% of our undergraduate student population is from the state of Illinois. We'll talk more about Illinois in just a couple of minutes, but of our student body population, we have students from about 43 states and territories, 16 countries as well. So definitely students coming from all over the country and the world. About 20% of our students are from underrepresented populations, and 27% of our students at St. Mary's are first-generation college students or the first in their family to attend college. And what does this mean for you? This means that if you were to attend St. Mary's, you would be able to learn and grow from your peers who had differing backgrounds and experiences than your own, which really does make the learning environment much more rich, which I think is a huge benefit. As someone who attended St. Mary's, I can tell you that it is definitely wonderful to learn from students who are from all over the country and the world. So being from Illinois, you may have already been to St. Mary's, and if not, that is absolutely okay. But we wanted to give you an idea of where you are in relation to St. Mary's. So as you can see here on this screen, we've listed a number of cities in the state of Illinois. So feel free to find one that's close to you, and that'll give you an idea of how close you are to our campus. If you're in the city of Chicago or one of the suburbs, more than likely you can make it to campus with no traffic in just about 2 to 2.5 hours. If you're looking at central Illinois, you're closer to 3.5 to 5, depending on where in central Illinois. Our students like to say that it's kind of the perfect distance from home if they're from Illinois. So you're not too close to where your parents can pop in at any time and you're having that full college experience being away from home for the first time, but you're also close enough that you feel like, you know, your families are still close if need be. So truly the perfect distance, we really think so. So diving right into the academics, of course, when you're looking at a college, that is one of the first things that you probably think about. You know, is it going to be a good fit for you academically? At St. Mary's, we are dedicated to academic excellence. And one of the ways that we achieve this academic excellence is through the individualized nature of our learning environment. So at St. Mary's, your average class size is going to be about 18 students. What this means is that you will actually get to know your faculty and your peers. Our classes are all taught by professors at St. Mary's, so we don't have TAs in a traditional sense. All of those classes are taught by professors, which means that your professors will get to know you, your name, your passions, and your talents during your 4 years at St. Mary's, which really helps in terms of that mentorship piece. From the time that you are working with admission all the way through your years as an alumna, you will feel like more than just a number at St. Mary's. And again, I can attest to this as someone who attended St. Mary's, and that was a large reason why I was so attracted to St. Mary's when I was a high school student. So I knew that I was more than just a number. But our professors are really tuned into helping our students to develop their critical thinking skills, their problem-solving skills, to develop leadership skills, both in and outside the classroom. And it truly feels individualized from the start all the way through your years as an alumna. As far as our academic programs go, we have more than 60 academic programs for our students to choose from. Of those 60 programs, the most popular are nursing, education, business, psychology, biology, and communication studies. Some of our most unique programs are our 5-year dual degree engineering program with the University of Notre Dame, our speech and language pathology major. We actually have a clinic on our campus where our undergraduate students can do some clinical hours. And then also our student design major. So yes, we actually have a student designed major at St. Mary's. This allows our students, if there is, not a specific major that they're looking for, they can actually create their own student design major alongside faculty members. Again, this really speaks to the individualized nature and the fact that our faculty members cater to our students and their needs during their time at St. Mary's. So this is something that we're really proud of. If you have specific questions about a particular major, please feel free to reach out to us or to ask in the Q&A. And another thing that we think is really important in terms of the academics is research. Those hands-on experiences are so valuable at the undergraduate level. You are never going to need to compete for research opportunities at St. Mary's because we feel that all undergraduate students should have the opportunity to complete undergraduate research if they want to. In fact, many of our majors require that students complete undergraduate research in order to graduate. So this may sound scary now, but it is a huge benefit to our students. Some of the work that our students are doing as far as research goes, just a number of years ago, just a couple years ago, our students and professors worked to create a device that detects counterfeit medications. What this means is that there are places all around the globe where people are not getting the medications that they need. And so our faculty and undergraduate students, so these are 21-year-old students, worked to create an affordable device that would help people to determine whether or not they were getting the medications that they needed. They created that device, they received a patent for that device, and then our faculty and students went out into the world and showed communities how to use it. So imagine being 20, 21 years old, having that experience. That is the kind of work that our students are doing at St. Mary's College. Some other examples of research that our students are doing, we've had students researching in the biology department, researching bats, actually in the caves, researching bats down south. We have had students and faculty go research in the Florida Keys. That's plant life that they've been researching there. We have people who are doing research on history of women in popular culture, and those are just a couple of wonderful examples of research opportunities that we think are important. And now we are going to talk about the benefits of a women's college. So if you're here today, chances are you know we're a women's college, but there are absolutely benefits to a women's college. If you've never known anyone who attended a women's college, that's okay. I myself had never personally known someone that attended a women's college until I attended St. Mary's. You know, when you talk to our students about the fact that we're a women's college and you ask them some of the outcomes of their women's college experience, there are a number of things that you will hear time and time again. I found my voice at St. Mary's. I discovered that I was a leader during my time at St. Mary's. They will say things such as, you know, this was a transformative and empowering experience for me. I learned my passions and my talents. I felt supported in the classroom and outside of the classroom to become the woman that I was meant to be. These are things that you will hear from our students over and over and over again. And it really is a testament to the wonderful environment that the Women's College creates. If you look at some of the statistics about women's colleges, there are so many out there, but these are just a couple of wonderful facts about women's colleges. So if you look at the number of, or the percentage of women from women's colleges who go on to complete a graduate degree, that percentage is 51%, compared to 27% of public university alumni. So what that means is that at almost twice the rate, women's college grads are going on to graduate school. That is amazing. So we're giving our women the tools that they need to complete their bachelor's degree and to go on and continue to pursue their dreams. And as far as our women feeling prepared for their jobs, 81% of women's college alumni say that they feel prepared for their jobs, compared to only 67% of public universities. So those are only two of the statistics out there about women's colleges. If you have any free time in the coming weeks, I would definitely encourage you to do more research on women's colleges and their benefits. As someone who attended St. Mary's myself, I can honestly tell you that the women's college environment made my college experience even better. I've gotten the question before, do you feel like you missed out on something because you attended a women's college? And I always tell people, absolutely not. I say it's quite the opposite. I really feel that my college experience was even better. It was a women's college. I was able to find my voice in the classroom. I became even more confident in who I was as a person and who I wanted to be. And I built friendships that absolutely will last a lifetime. So much so that I'm still here today at St. Mary's. Okay, and now I'm going to pass it over to Lindsay Romeo, who will talk about some of the results of the St. Mary's experience.
Thanks, Cara. So 95% of recent St. Mary's graduates are either employed full-time or enrolled in some type of graduate school program 1 year out. This is a stat that we're really excited about. It shows that St. Mary's students have done well to prepare themselves over the next 4 years, and that they've taken the next step in either their career path or in graduate school. We offer 2 career fairs at both St. Mary's and Notre Dame. Our students can go to both, they can go to one or the other, but at both of these, they meet with employers from all over the country. Our career fair is hosted by the Career Crossings office. This is a phenomenal resource for our students. They help with fine-tuning resumes. They help with cover letters, interview prep. They do mock interviews. They host a variety of events throughout the year that students have access to starting as early as their freshman year, and then actually forever. So once you're a Belle, you're always a Belle. You can always tap into this office, whatever it might be in regard to internships, your career path after graduation, applying to grad school, or even as an alum if you have a career change later on. The first bullet point shows where our grads are going. So where they've worked, there's some really notable organizations and companies. You guys probably recognize those: Congress, the Peace Corps, MSNBC. The second bullet point shows grad programs that our students have enrolled at. So Notre Dame, of course, across the street, Georgetown, MIT, even abroad at the London School of Economics, St. Mary's, we offer some graduate programs as well. So we're really proud of our grads and where they're going. We do have a great connection to Notre Dame and Holy Cross. So between the three schools, we call it the tri-campus community. And we have an academic connection with Notre Dame. We offer a co-engineering program. It is a 4+1 program. So in 5 years, you can get a degree in biology or chemistry or mathematics from St. Mary's, and then your engineering degree will come from Notre Dame. Within 5 years, you have 2 amazing degrees from 2 institutions. Our students can also take classes over at Notre Dame and Holy Cross, and then vice versa. They can take classes at St. Mary's. So you may have a Notre Dame student or a Holy Cross student in your class on campus here. Between the three schools, we offer over 500 clubs and organizations that our students can get involved with. We host dances and social events. Notre Dame hosts, each of their residence halls hosts a dance, and then we have a dance every year. The most popular social event probably would be Notre Dame football. There's nothing like the fall during Notre Dame football season in Notre Dame, Indiana. So that's something our students love to do. They can buy the season ticket, sit in the student section with Notre Dame students, Holy Cross students, and St. Mary's students all together. They can also buy the basketball season ticket and hockey season tickets, and then any other sporting events they want to go to at Holy Cross and Notre Dame, they can get in with their St. Mary's ID. So you truly have the best of both worlds. You have your supportive, empowering environment at St. Mary's, and then even more opportunities at Notre Dame and Holy Cross, with sports, them being co-ed institutions, and it's just a really nice mix of social as well as academic opportunities for students in the Notre Dame community. So the opportunities seriously are endless. Faith and spirituality are a really big part of our campus community. Obviously, we're a distinctly Catholic college, and we provide opportunities for students to be Eucharistic ministers, help with Mass. Students will receive a Mass schedule when they arrive on campus, and we have an awesome campus ministry office that will put on different events for students, as well as a Center for Spirituality. If a student isn't Catholic, our mission team will help you find a place to practice your faith in our local community. Service work is also a big part of who we are. Our students are very passionate about social justice here. They want to serve in their communities and even throughout the world. Over 80% of our students are involved in some type of service work here on campus, either through a club. Our residence halls, each one is tied to a local service in the community, so that's also something that students can do with their dorm mates. And we have a lot of leadership positions on campus, and they're all held by women. So all the benefits of us being a women's college, you really see that lived out at St. Mary's. All the captains of our teams are women. Our president is a woman. We have a student who sits on the Board of Trustees meeting and shares her perspective as a student. So St. Mary's really helps empower you to find your own voice and accomplish your own goals as a student here. We are NCAA Division III, so we offer 8 varsity sports, and we also have tons of club and intramural sports offered at St. Mary's and Notre Dame and Holy Cross. We just had our athletic complex renovated, I think just under 3 years now, and they offer spin classes, yoga classes, there's a great running track, a weight area, and a nice cardio area for students as well. And study abroad is something that's really popular at St. Mary's. Over 50% of our students study abroad. And I think this reflects the ease in which students can do it and still finish their degree in 4 years. So St. Mary's wants to focus on developing global citizens. That's really important to us as a college. But there are many different places you can go. We have programs in Australia, Asia, tons of European programs, South American programs, and we also have a bunch of varieties of timeframes for students to go. So whether you go do a summer program, a semester program, we offer year-long programs. You do not have to be a certain major to go a certain place. If you're a nursing major, you will still have time to go abroad. We want to make sure that if a student wants to do that, that they're able to. You can also use all your financial aid and scholarships that would go toward your housing on campus. Those will go toward your trip abroad. So you really only have to cover the plane ticket and then anything extra that you would do while you're abroad. And this next slide will be a video. And so you guys can just kind of see what life is like at St. Mary's. You'll see the students inside the residence halls. And then after, we'll talk about the admission process. So you guys can apply 2 different ways. We have early decision and regular decision. Early decision is a binding contract, and it's an awesome way to apply if St. Mary's is your #1 choice. You do get the benefit of selecting your housing and your classes before regular decision students do. So if St. Mary's is your #1 choice, we definitely would love for you to apply early decision. We get excited when students apply early decision. That application, as you can see, is due November 15th. So everything just happens a little bit earlier than the regular decision app. The regular decision app is due February 15th, and we are on rolling admission. So whenever you complete your application, we have regular decision students right now that are complete, and they'll get their decision letter soon. Typically, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to get your letter back. Now I'll pass it off to you, Anna.
Thanks, Lindsay. So I'm going to talk to you about application requirements. So of course, we'll be needing your application, your high school transcript, and this is official. We'll need your personal essay, and this is where I come through and say, your personal essay and your writing sample is really where your personality shines and tells us more about who you are. So we really love reading your personal essay. Of course, test scores as well, unless you are test optional, and I'll touch base a little bit about that afterwards. And then your secondary school report, your guidance counselor letter recommendation. And so for the decision process, we review your application very holistically. I always describe it as a fan, right? So we open up your application and it is fully on something that we take on step by step. So we first take a look at your grades and your grade trends. If you have had any rigorous academic courses, if there's a trend, maybe you had a hiccup your freshman year, but then you continued improving throughout your sophomore, junior, and senior year. We love seeing those good trends. And then your test scores. We do take a look at your test scores. We are test optional, which again, I'll touch base right now after that. And then we also, you can self-report your test scores and we super score. We also have, we will also be looking at your leadership and activities. So what you've been doing throughout your 4 years consecutively, what leadership positions you've had, and what activities you've been doing, as well as letters of recommendation. And so these letters of recommendation from your guidance counselor, teachers, people at school who are very close to you that could tell us a little bit more of who you are. And then for your essay and writing sample, again, we will take a look at just understanding, your personality, telling us a little bit more about yourself, and I'll touch base about the test optional policy. So throughout the years, we've understood through a lot of research that your test scores are not going to be predictive of how you're going to do your first year of college. They're going to be more your grades and then your motivation of how you're really going to do. So we've decided to become test optional as in a couple of years ago. And also we've come to understand that test scores tend to be biased against students of color, first generation students, students with higher financial aid need, and women. And so it felt for us that it was important to provide an opportunity to apply test optional. And so this year, because of COVID, and because I know most of you have not been able to take any standardized tests this semester, we've decided to not have any requirements. However, the Office of Admission does reserve the right to request any additional documents. So if we feel like we need something else to understand a little bit more of who you are, we might ask for maybe another writing sample, letter recommendation to give us a clearer sense of your preparation for St. Mary's. And so the other thing is that international students are not eligible to apply to optional. We do need that writing exam, so just FYI. And so the value is priceless. I graduated in 2015, and it really was something that has helped me get where I am. I mean, my professors really guided me throughout my 4 years. That led me to grad school. My connections to my previous jobs have always been with St. Mary's students, and my St. Mary's connection of understanding, like, really it wasn't until I got to St. Mary's that I understood how interconnected everybody is, and they're interconnected because they want to, you know, have you succeed. And so for me, that was very valuable and special to have such a huge community really looking out for me, to understanding where I needed to be. And so for financial aid, 100% students do receive financial aid. We provide tons of opportunities for financial aid. Last year, St. Mary's awarded $37 million in aid, and you will be automatically considered for merit aid when you apply. This year's scholarships range from $15,000 to $30,000, and you do not have to apply separately for those scholarships. We will look at you for some need-based aid in the form of grants, but I would recommend for you to submit the FAFSA application. And that application opens up on October 1st. So once you submit your FAFSA application, we will also take a look for additional need-based aid. And so you will get that your scholarship will be stated on your decision letter, and then after you submit your FAFSA, your award package will be later on passed on, sent to you. And so for the student loans, what does that have to do with all this, the values, price, and the financial aid? And here's to say that on average, students who graduate from any other college, they tend to default, 11% of students tend to default on their student loans. And what is default is that they're not paying their student loans. But here at SMC, about 1.2% of students default on their loans, which tells you the difference of 11 versus 1.2. That is such a huge gap to understand that our students are being responsible, they're making money right after college, that they're able to pay for their college loans. And what's your 4-year promise? We try our hardest for you to graduate in 4 years. Our graduation rate is 93%, which is really, really high, especially because there's a lot of students who always graduate in 5 to 5.5 years, which means more money, right? So in case you are not able to graduate in 4 years because there's a class that you're missing or it was something on our end, we will pay for those classes for you to graduate in that extra year. And so for ranking, we continue being in top 100 liberal arts schools in the U.S. News and World Report, as well in the top 50 most valuable schools in the country. And staying engaged. So as of today, September 23rd, we are now offering 2 presentations per week on campus. Those are Fridays and Saturdays. We are giving outdoor tours 6 days a week. And so these opportunities are fluid. So these could change, but we're taking these precautions to ensure the safety of both families that join our tours and our students as well. We're limiting also the number of guests for those opportunities to ensure the safety, again, of our visitors and students. If there are any changes, this presentation will be updated with those changes. We are also having our fall day off campus, which is super exciting because we will offer booths. So all of our departments will be in different booths for you to be able to go in, hop in and ask a question. Let's say you're interested in environmental science. You'll be able to hop on that departmental booth and be able to ask questions, maybe have some questions for admission. So if you are interested in attending that event, that is on September 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you have any questions, we'll give you more information after that. We hope you can make it. We are also offering, as I said, on-campus outdoor tours. We are able to show you the Angela Athletic Facility Center as well as our library. And we're also having as well the on-campus presentation, as I said before, on Fridays and Saturdays. The virtual chats, we have virtual chats with our admission counselors. We also have them with our current students. We're having virtual tours, virtual office hours, info sessions with admission counselors. I mean, really the opportunities are endless when it comes to, your virtual options. So just so you know, I know COVID and everything, but especially for our students who can make it to campus, look at how many opportunities we have virtually. And so we ask that you stay tuned for more options. If you would like to contact us, Cara, Lindsay, and I are always available on our email. And Cara is our admission counselor, and she takes care of the Chicago West suburbs, Central Illinois, Southern Illinois, Rockford, and the Quad Cities. Lindsay, she's the senior admission counselor transfer coordinator, Chicago South and Southwest suburbs. And I'm the Chicago regional representative, so I actually live in Chicago. And I take care of City of Chicago, Chicago's chain of lakes, North and Northwest suburbs. So if you see any of these cities and would like to contact one of us, you know who to put a face to. And so I will now tend to you guys to see if you have any questions. I don't believe we have any questions for now, but what we can do is, Cara and Lindsay, do you want to give just a quick advice for our students?
Sure.
Great.
I'll start if you want.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just say just general application advice is to just start early. A lot of times students, they might kind of fumble around later with the financial aid package and all of that, but if you have all that information as early as possible, it just takes the stress out of making the actual decision, and you'll have all the information you need. So apply early for financial aid and for admission.
Great advice, Lindsay. My advice for students, the first piece of advice that I always give is just to not be afraid to ask questions to your admission counselor. So whether it's us here at St. Mary's or at other institutions that you're considering attending, definitely reach out. We want to hear from you. Oftentimes the best part of our days is when we actually get to talk with students who are interested. There are plenty of other things we can do to keep busy, but it's most fun when we get to hear from you and get to know you. As Anna said, our review process is very holistic in nature, so the more that we can get to know you throughout the process, the better.
And since I know most of you live in Illinois, given this presentation, it's a great opportunity. We're not that far for you to go and take an outdoor tour. I know it's mostly outside, but I think this is a great opportunity for you to be able to get the vibe of the campus, to be able to see if, you could spend 4 years there, to really understand if that school is for you, especially because, yes, I'm biased, but we have a beautiful campus. You can see two of our backgrounds right here. But, I think that's a great move, especially if you're a senior, to understand if you can see yourself there for the next 4 years. And the second thing is, yes, apply early, and also for financial aid. I think it's crucial when it comes to awards and grants and scholarships, but know that they're also outside scholarships, and the earlier you apply for those, the earlier you know if you get those. So the more aid, the better, and look out for those. We also have a list of outside scholarships on our financial aid page at stmarys.edu/financial aid. So know that there's a ton of opportunities out there for you guys to be able to receive aid, not only from us, but from outside scholarships, so then you can attend St. Mary's. And I think those are the advices for today. We're so thankful that you guys could be here today. We're so thankful that you stayed for the entire presentation, and we hope to see you soon at St. Mary's. And now I will close without further ado and for a last drive scan announcement.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Great presentation. For those of you joining us, just wanted to let you know, again, thank you, but there is a quick survey that will pop up when you close this link. I promise it's just 4 questions. So if you don't mind giving us some feedback, we'd greatly appreciate that. These sessions are going on for the next 5 weeks, so feel free to sign up for any others at IACAC.org. And then also, again, this recording will be available in just a few days on that same website, iacac.org, if you'd like to share this presentation with any of your friends or family. So again, thanks so much, and everybody have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.